Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. Or should I say, well, hello everybody! Yeah, well, it's cold out here. Yelling makes you feel a little warmer. Anyway, I don't have really much to report today. I did go to town and took care of a bunch of business and wanted to pick up a couple of more hens, but they were sold out. Some lady came yesterday and bought them all, so there was nothing left for me. Anyway, didn't have any frozen water this morning, and that was a good thing. It was in the mid-30s when I got up this morning, so a big difference from 23 degrees and 21 degrees the night before. But anyway, the other thing I'm having a problem with here is, since I had this door worked on and they broke the window and had to put a new glass in here. Well, the window doesn't go all the way down. It stops about 1.25 inches up. I don't like that. He explained it that only the OEM glass does that, will go all the way down. So this being a remake glass doesn't do that. Well, I can live with that. Not a big deal. I don't ride with my redneck arm out the door all the time, so I don't have to deal with that. But my lock isn't working properly now, and it's sticking, and it's sticking in ways that it shouldn't be. So I started to look around here, and I found on the floor down there, I found 2 nuts, and I know what those nuts are. I looked at them and I said, I recognize those. Those are the 2 that go on the top here to hold the window mechanism in. So I said, well, something's wrong here. So I decided to pull the panel myself again, and I did, and I found all kinds of stuff that I wasn't happy with. They gouged the heck out of the cover cap here that goes on the door, and they had put 2 other smaller nuts, these right here, to hold the window mechanism in. The ones that go on there are bigger nuts. These are 10 millimeter. The other ones are 11 millimeter, and the size of the washer on the backing, this is like 11 millimeter washer. And the ones that are on there are 14 millimeter washers. They're big washers because they have to hold a big plate in. And these things were socked down. I guess he must have used an air impact gun on them or something, because they were really socked down way too tight. So I put the right ones back into place, but there's still a problem with the door lock, the way the door lock works. And I'm going to have to pull this again, and I'm going to lube up the door lock mechanism and see if I can get that squared away. And if not, then I'm pretty much sure that it's the electric door actuator, and I'm going to have to get a new one of those. But I was going to go back there and have them do tires for me all the way around. I think now I'm not going to do that, because these guys are flaking on me big time. I used to be an auto mechanic in my young days, way back when I was in junior high school, and all the way up till the time I was married. I did some mechanics work, and this guy just bullshitted me, and I didn't like that. I said, I'm going to put the new rear shocks on myself because I can get them cheaper, and by going to the auto parts store I use, they give a military discount, so I get them 10% off for that. So I get them cheaper that way, and I don't have to pay a markup to the mechanic. And it's only 2 bolts that hold them in, so I'll change them myself. And I said, but I'm going to need 4 new tires after I've changed the shocks, or even before I change the shocks. It doesn't matter. And he says, oh yeah, it does. You got to put the new shocks in first, because then when we put the new tires on, we got to do a alignment. And I said, but you don't align the rear end. You only align the front end. It's a front end alignment. There's no such thing as a rear end alignment unless you're changing the rear axle. And the rear axle's not going to be moving. It's going to stay right where it is. So he says, no. You got to do the shocks first, and then we'll do the alignment. I says, okay. So I didn't want to argue with him, so I just pulled away and went and did my thing. Well, I don't like that. I don't like when people bullshit me like that. You know, that's ridiculous. And I should have known better when I went there and I had the door work done. The guy couldn't figure, he's a mechanic, and he couldn't figure out how to take the door panel off. And he was pounding on it and trying to jam it off. And I noticed that he cracked the plastic in one place, and he broke a tab on the little cover plate that goes on the top section. I'm not happy. I am really not happy with that. That's not nice. That's not right. So I will go by and let him know how disappointed I am about that stuff. And it's a shame, because that's where I go every other year to get my smog done. But there's a lot of smog places around, and my van always passes with no problem, and they throw it on a computer. It doesn't matter what computer, it'll pass. So I don't have to go to him anymore. It's just he was the closest one and convenient. But I'm not going there anymore if he's going to lie to me like that. That's BS. I don't like that. So, with all of that hard-nosed stuff, I guess I got to leave you with a pretty good joke tonight, huh? So, while I was out, I decided I was going to stop and have myself something to eat because I was hungry. And I haven't been into a restaurant in ages. So I pulled into a restaurant, sat down, and had my food. And as I was kicking back and relaxing, as I was full, the waiter came over and he says, "Hey, you want a box for the leftovers?" I just looked at him and I said, "No, that's okay. I'm not going to fight over them. You can have them." Oh, all right. I know. You're laughing again, right? You want a box for your leftovers. No, I'm not going to box you. All right. Anyway, that's it. Dogs all laying around here relaxing. They're all full. Had their food. Had their treats. I'm going to go inside because it's getting cold out. And since I had lunch while I was out, I'm not going to have supper tonight because I ate a late lunch. About 1 o'clock, 1:30, I think it was when I had lunch. So it's no need to eat again in a few hours, right? I'm going to call it a day, and got a yellow light flashing way down there. I wonder what that's all about. Huh. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget, questions and comments below. This is G Bear signing off.